All right. So what inspired me as a drummer? Okay, I would just say it's rhymes. Actually, I love rhymes. Understand rhymes. Now I just love when everything are in sync. You get so it's basically nothing much in quotes, but then rhymes. I just love rhymes. Understand? I just love rhymes. And then I think at the point in my life, I was playing in a church. You get, I was playing as a church drummer, and I started off with playing in a one very small parish. You get, while I was playing, everybody were like they were hyped. You get, so I noticed that in my family, well, everybody are musicians. You get, my senior brother started off as a drummer. My mom sings. She was a choir director one time. You get, so it was just a whole lot, man. It was just a whole lot. So I was surrounded with music, so I love rhymes. You get. So I started building up myself. I just started building up myself. I didn't know basic things. I didn't know basic rudiment on drums. But I just started off myself. I was just building myself. Like, you get. So what basically like inspired me was rhymes, actually. Like rhymes. I just love rhymes. All right. I don't think I did a lot of strategies like that or tactics. But one thing I know about myself is that I love to just impact. I love to teach. So it all started when Victor Caro. I hosted Victor Caro on my community group. That's Dot Drums community. A lot of drummers were there. A lot of drummers, like about 250 then. And I think that was like 4 to 5 years back. I mean 3 years or 4 years. So I think I started playing. I started playing drums. I started off as a church drummer, so I didn't know drum rudiments. I didn't know rudimental stuff. I didn't know permutations and all of those things on drums. But after Victor Caro's class, it was so wholesome, like really, really wholesome. So he emphasized more on rudimentation, and I was like, "What is this rudiment?" And I started doing the research on it. I built myself, started understanding note values, started asking questions, started asking a lot of questions from drummers. Some of them will snub me, some of them might not reply my messages, but I was just building myself. So I started off as a church drummer. So I understood the struggle of building myself to this point. Now I noticed that even after I started playing, after I learned rudiments, note values, the basics of drum, my drumming changed. My drumming changed. Even my junior brother that was also a drummer upcoming, due to the fact that I was practicing rudiment and all of this, I had an influence on him, and now he's doing so well too. He's doing so well. Do you get? So I was the kind of person that loved to impact, to share knowledge. Do you understand? So I was like, okay, let me just gather 2 or 3 people, female drummers actually. I was like, okay, let me just gather 2 or 3 female drummers. Let me just teach them these things. I started teaching female drummers. Before you know, that's how Dot Mentis Academy came up. You understand? So I started teaching people. And as at the first time when I started Dot Mentis, we had about I think we had 10, and we had 10. Yes, 2 or 3, 4 people graduated, right? Because no consistency and all that. So later on, I started having a lot of mentees. As at this year, I have I had over 60, but presently now they're like 15 because a lot of them had to remove a lot of them and all that. Now we had and all of them paid 5K. Yeah, I just did it for 5K for 1 year. So a lot of stuff like that. I teach people online. I have personal classes with people. You understand? So the strategy that I actually, the tactics that I supposed to use was just the fact that I didn't rush my growth. I didn't rush myself. You understand? I understood that my growth process is progression now. You understand? And so what I just did basically was just to love music. I just love to teach people, and then from there I started impacting. So now basically in drums, I don't really do much of a drum kind of. Well, I actually play in the church and I'm being paid, but I don't do more of the play. I do more of the teaching. You understand? So where I actually get my money from more now, is just teaching. So the tactics that actually and the strategy was just that I just loved music and I didn't rush my growth. The only thing that I just did was just to love myself and love the fact that I'm going to grow progression now, and I just love to impact. So that was just the basic strategy. I didn't really do anything in quotes. You understand? So the basic thing is just love yourself, love music, and don't rush growth. You get? Don't rush growth. Just be yourself. Oh, this branding. When it comes to branding, oh man, branding and marketing. Now, basically, ah, I'm the kind of person that I had like some basic knowledge on branding and all of those things. I had like a lot of branding strategies in my head. But one of the methods I used was just to I just built a community, a drum community. You know, I told you from onset that I love to teach. So I just built a drum community. I started teaching drummers like one or two things to get, and that's how as I started. And then I looked at top drummers and how they branded their stores. Not even drummers in quotes. I looked at social media managers. I was like, okay, so what if I implement this into my own particular brand? Understand? I didn't really like the truth is I didn't even really do much of a thing. I was just me to get, and then I didn't rush growth. I didn't rush to. I didn't. Oh, how would I put it now? I was not the kind of person that wanted everybody to know me and all that, hey, brand. But then I was just so soft. I was progressional. You get so the basic thing I actually did for my brand was just to train people, help people, and now the truth is, I didn't just start teaching anybody. I started teaching female drummers uniqueness. So I brought in uniqueness. I brought uniqueness from unique people. I'm not saying guys are not unique actually, but for female drummers, I started teaching female drummers. They were like, this guy, there's one guy that love to teach that love to teach female drummers. This guy name is Dot and all of that. As I started building my brand and all of those, so people knew me. So I think there's a particular girl that I'm teaching presently. Somebody referred her and the person was like, she said she wanted to learn drums and she was like, the person she just wanted to learn drums. She told a particular drummer she wanted to learn drums, and the guy was like, I have one particular guy. This guy just teach female drummers. You get so I so like that. I started my brand was just basic. My basic brand in the head of everybody was just like, okay, this guy loves to teach female drummers and all of those. So I started teaching female drummers. I started branding myself, publicity, just do one or two sponsored ads. I didn't really do anything much. I was just myself. I was just me. I was just me. I was not rushing growth. I was just like, okay, yeah. Most times I'll post, I have like 2 likes. Fine. I was not rushing my growth, but I was just doing my thing. You get so I didn't have any basic strategy for my branding. I was just myself, actually. Just myself. Like I didn't have anything in code. No, a lot of people like people to view them in a way like this guy is a very big person. But I didn't really have that mentality. I was just me. And then I started building my brands and people started knowing me, dot drops community. You understand? So I had concept, I had strategies at which I was able to impact knowledge. Now, for time signature, that was very, very complex. I had better ways. I had to do research. So anytime I'm doing research like that, I tend to be like, okay, so this particular thing that I'm trying to learn, I'm going to be teaching someone that is like of 2 to 3 years. So I bring it low to a very low concept that you'll be able to understand. So basically, I just did was just to be myself, and then I started building my brand little by little, little by little. People started knowing dots and all of those. My God, networking. No. I don't play with networking actually. Now, for those people that know Dot Drums community, you know that um we've hosted one of the top drummers in Nigeria. We've hosted a lot of drummers in Nigeria, like top drummers: Marcus Azan, Victor Caro, Top Sticks, Shaba, Shegun. Who else? A lot. Now, emphasis on emphasis on networking. As a drummer, you cannot go places without networking. Now, even in churches where I go to play, I network. I build. I roll with everybody. Oh, this guy, you good? Do you understand? So networking is very, very important when it comes to branding. When it comes to networking, is very, 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 very important. Tag a lot of people. Talk to a lot of people. Relate. Just be you. Do you get? Talk to a lot of people. Now, Dot Drums community. There's no. I don't think there's anybody I want to bring on my community now that I cannot bring. Why? Because I've done a lot of networkings and connections with guys. So I feel like there's just a whole lot that we need to learn as drummers. A whole lot actually. Networking is very, very paramount. Networking is very, very important. Now, the reason why the reason why I think there was only a time I think last 2 years I was to give my student certificate. I think it was Shaba Shegun that actually helped me because I was not around. I was sick. So networking, when I was giving them a certificate, it was like I've heard of Dodge Drums community. This is a very nice community and all of those networking. So just put out your brand there. Just put out your brand there, and you just be and don't just be too. Don't be too how would I put it now? Don't be too overexcited to grow. Just don't rush. Don't rush your growth. You get just be you. Be you, just be cool. Just network with guys. You can send DMs and know how to send DMs actually. You don't just send direct messages to people and those know how to send direct messages. Do you understand? All of these things. Take branding classes. Take classes. Take branding classes. Take go online. Do how to network. All of these things to help you actually as a music person. Right. So one of the basic things I would just say to drummers here is, from onset, if you have been watching the video, you understand that the basic things I've just been emphasizing on are just growth. Don't rush growth. Don't rush growth. So now, for me, where I am today is just by the grace of God first, and secondly, I understood that growth was progressional. I didn't rush things. I didn't really rush things. I didn't feel like, guy, you need to grow fast. No, see my mate, don't they play jobs, don't they play all these things, don't they no, I didn't rush it. So my advice to drummers, to upcoming drummers that want to take music as a career, just know that growth is progressional. Do you understand? Growth is progressional. And the number one factor should be God. Like your number one factor should be God. Without God, you are nothing actually. You are actually nothing. So one thing you have to understand is the concept of God factor. The second one is what? Understand that growth is progressional. So that's all.